Gentlemen and ladies, welcome to part 2 of our episode, If I Were President.
If I Were President, part 2.
This is Robert Jones with my co-host,
Jack Caroselli, and we're back.
And we are the Fruitfully Honest Podcast.
The only unfiltered podcast on the internet that matters.
And if you don't like that,
we got two words for you.
Suck it!
We didn't have to tell them what the word was.
Well, yeah, we did. We'll have to cut that out. But,
no, we won't.
So back to, you were talking about marijuana. So
yes.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to legalize it, and I'm going to put a 5% tax on it.
5%?
Yes.
I can kind of see that.
Because it's going to sell off the shelves, and we're going to make billions.
Yeah, I mean, you probably wouldn't have to tax it that heavily just because people are going to buy it as is. Originally, I had like a 25 or 30% tax, but I went down to 15. But it's legal. Lead is legal. But weed is legal for recreational use, for medical use, anything. Because it is proven also to have medical effects that are positive.
Yeah.
People with epilepsy and everything.
So the next topic, Medicare, Obamacare, Social Security. I'm going to keep them all.
You keep them all?
Yes, but for the minority of people.
For the minority of people.
The people who can't afford that stuff.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I'll help them out. But if you're able-bodied and you can work, you're paying for all of it.
If I, see, my problem with Obamacare is that it's been a good system. It's helped a lot of people, but it's still really flawed. And I don't think that I really know what the solution is.
Well, see, under President Jones, we will solve those problems.
Oh, we're going to solve
and make America great again. It's going to be huge.
I bet it's going to be
huge.
Let's go ahead and talk about foreign policy, because this is something that I have a really short statement on, but it sort of speaks volumes.
Sorry for my coffee.
Oh, he's fine. He's fine. We can't just stay out. I know that's your thing. You said just stay out of there. But to me, we can't just stay out of the Middle East.
Why not?
Look at World War I and World War II. That was a result of us saying, I don't want to get in that. Hitler was taking over Europe. The Axis powers grew, and then Japan attacked us.
Question. Would that happen in 2016 with all the social media and all the TVs and televised news stations? Would that really happen, Jack?
Yes.
No, it wouldn't.
Absolutely it
would. Never again.
Yeah, we're going to have another 9/11 event. That's my prediction. It's going to be in the next 5 years.
Interesting.
I mean, that's not supposed to be some cryptic message, but that's what I feel. I want to create a more efficient CIA, people who aren't just going to say, oh, they have nuclear weapons, and then just like kiss each other on the mouth.
Yeah, I mean, my foreign policy is we're going to stay out. So speaking of foreign policy, what are we going to do about the refugees, buddy? I'm going to say we're not going to accept them because there could be one in the bunch that could kill us all.
There could be one in the bunch. See, that's my problem is that my belief is that if we don't take in refugees, then we don't take in any immigration.
Well, there's a difference from the Syrian refugees who want to be rescued and immigration that is legal and people pay to get in. There's a difference.
I think we need to have, if there was a way to set up some sort of a refugee area, sort of like how Israel was for a time. It was just sort of the Jewish promised land. If we could set another one of those up, like a Palestine, where people could just be, that would be fantastic. Instead of just having them all come to us, because
I mean, I don't know much about foreign policy. All I know is we should stay out of everything.
I know I don't want to mess with Russia, that's for sure.
Well, I think if we're going to, my foreign policy is the United States and Russia are going to form an alliance because President Jones and Vladimir Putin would get along tremendously.
I'm sure.
Two big egos.
That would do this. It's going to be huge.
It's going to be huge.
Yeah. If I was president, I would for sure team up with some of the biggest powers.
Yeah.
I would work my ass off to try to get Russia into NATO.
Yeah.
Because that's probably the biggest worry of mine with Russia is that they're not there. So if they attack someone who is in NATO, then we are obligated. And I do not want to fight Russia. That's the last thing I want to do.
So let's get back to what we were talking about in the United States. What do you think about gender identity?
Gender identity. What do you think about it? Because
I think you are what you were born. If you were born with male parts, you are male. If you were born with female parts, you are female. This is biology, people.
I think gender identity is a choice of self.
No, I disagree.
I think if you're born a Muslim, you don't have to die a Muslim. I know
that's not a gender.
I know that's two different things, but it sort of explains my feelings. Just because you're born with a certain part, I don't believe that you have to die that way. If your mind is telling you that you're not that,
look,
then don't be that.
Let me say something, Jack. My mind is telling me no, but my body is telling me yes. Okay? I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind.
I don't know how this applies.
It's because you said if your mind's telling you one thing and your body believes something else. But all I'm going to say is that makes no sense to me. I think if your mind is telling you that you're something else than you actually are, I think you have a mental problem.
Well, right. I mean,
think you're messed up in the head.
It's considered a mental disorder, a gender identity issue.
But
I think we need to stop labeling people just because they're different with a gender, or not a gender disorder, a mental disorder. Because I've been given a lot of labels about not gender disorders, mental disorders. Yeah. And I think just because someone is different doesn't mean that there's automatically something wrong. And I think just
I
because...
don't either, but I just... Look, if I sexually identify as a train or a car, then I have a mental problem.
Well, yeah, because
if I identify as a woman, I have a mental problem.
I don't agree with that, because I think trains and cars are not even close to a
well, the logic
woman.
that we're using, it's basically the same thing. Because if a man and a woman, if you could just switch any way, then I could be a train.
I mean, if you want to be a train, that's fine.
That sounds stupid, Jack.
If under my presidency, if you want to identify as a train, you can identify as a train.
Well, we're going to disagree with that. So let's talk about the gender pay gap. I think the government should have no play in what we pay certain employees. I think it's fake. I think it's a myth, because what we're doing is we're taking the single mom who works part-time and we're comparing it against the engineer who works 50 hours a week, and that's not fair. So we're going to disagree on that.
No, I agree.
Oh, you agree? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Yeah. I'm sick of the whole victimizing the women thing. And I know how bad that sounds, but
Look, women have an advantage, okay? Since 2012, this is a stat that I heard. Since 2012, 50% more women have attended more colleges than men.
I didn't know that.
And graduated, too.
I don't like, this is going to be really minute compared to pay in a job, in a career, but the whole having to hold doors first. I know that sounds kind of childish, but I've never been, other than my mom, no girl has ever opened the door for me. And I open the door for pretty much everyone.
Okay, let me say something real quick before I sneeze.
Before you sneeze. Oh, bless you.
So, look, I believe in equality for all people. So therefore, men, you pull out the chair for women, and women, you do vice versa. What you want done to you is what you need to do for someone else. It's the golden rule.
People forget
Treat people the way you want to be treated. So if a woman wants me to open the door for her, she better open another door for me. That's how I see it.
See, that's another thing when I go back to the whole gender thing. There should be no such thing as race and ethnicity. There should be no such thing as gender, because we're all people on Earth, and we're all brothers and sisters in some way. And even if you're religious, then obviously we come from the same two people. Even if you are unreligious, we all live here together, and we're all going to die here. So stop making all these lines that cause a rift in peace for people across Earth.
Okay, so what do you think about the Federal Reserve and minimum wage?
Minimum wage.
Minimum wage, we should get rid of minimum wage. I think that businesses should have competitive salaries starting at minuscule prices.
I think minimum wage needs to be a thing, but I think it needs to be less relevant because there's too many arguments about minimum wage. It needs to go up or it needs to go down. I do think it's sort of, if we had to keep minimum wage and make it go up or down, I would make it go up, but not to $15 an hour like McDonald's wants to happen. I would probably say $8.50 or so, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Just because I don't know how long it's been $7.25, but it's been a while, I'm sure. Obviously, things are costing more. Other than gas, gas is actually kind of down. But I would keep minimum wage, but I would raise it just a tad. And
what about the Federal Reserve? We got to stay short on these topics.
I don't really know much about the Federal Reserve.
Well, I'll just say it's a scam and we need to get rid of it.
Mm.
So, student loans.
Oh, this is good.
This is a fun one. And then we're going to get to your law your act that you want to pass, and then we're going to wrap it up, ladies.
Oh yeah. So for student loans, I praise Bernie Sanders for such a.
I don't.
No, I praise him for such a big dream to make college free, but you're not going to pay for that. And especially when he says he wants to tax corporations to pay for that, it's just not going to work.
Wall Street's speculation, people.
It's the country's out of control. College is not going to be free, but I want to reduce tuition to make it manageable.
Here's my thoughts. So, first thing, we're not going to make it free.
No.
We're not going to give it out for free because then that devalues the value of a college degree.
Right.
It will become a high school diploma, part 2. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to look in and do a federal investigation on these colleges. We're going to see why the cost is so high. And if anything weird is happening, then we will throw these people in jail. Mm. And the reason I say that is if they have 7 principals and 7 principals are not needed and people are paying tuition to pay for these 7 people, these 7 principals, then there's going to be a problem.
Yeah. I think I have a plan.
Overspending.
Sort of a plan. I want college to be more about academics than finances. If you are a bright young mind and you have dreams and you want to go on and be something, there should be no reason that you can't go to college. And the reason that you just don't have enough money is a bullshit reason.
We already have scholarships that will make it free. So
yeah, but that system's terrible because
no, it's not. You just have to be smart. And you can get a bunch of free college.
Yeah, but those scholarships are based off GPA.
Well,
and people are smart in different ways. Some people are not smart with GPA, and
got a point.
There's liberal arts colleges that don't even bother with a lot of the subjects that we talk about in school. There needs to be more liberal arts colleges.
No.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yes.
Because liberal arts, we're going to have to make a whole episode on that. That's going to be our next episode, people. Why me and Jack argue about liberal arts colleges. I hate liberal arts colleges so much.
I love liberal arts colleges.
Okay, we're going to save that to the next episode.
Yeah,
okay, keep going.
I want to eliminate interest on student loans. I think that it shouldn't be a way to profit. I think taking advantage of students and trying to profit off of them is a little bit shady. There needs to be incentives. There needs to be incentives for good grades. If you look, there is. Okay, well then
it's called scholarships.
Well, no, I'm saying like on student loans. So if you take out a loan and you get good grades, that sort of shows that the loan was worth it to the company. If you take out a loan and then go drop F-bombs everywhere, not the words, Fs. Then they're like, wow, we just gave this guy a bunch of money. But if you do well, then they're like, okay, this guy's going to make something. He's obviously going to be able to pay us back.
So let's move on. What's the bill you want to propose?
So this is with social reform and racial tension. I call it the Sticks and Stones Act. It's a very clever name that I'm proud to have come up with. I want to stop giving power to words completely. I want to dismantle the censorship and ratings systems entirely. I want pornography to no longer be taboo,
Preach.
no longer be illegal to
Even
some
though
people.
I don't mess with it, but preach.
Well, no, it's just I want ratings to be gone. There's no such thing as racial slurs anymore. Political correctness is gone.
It's dead.
I call it the Sticks and Stones Act because,
Or the Fruitfully Honest Bill.
or the Fruitfully Honest Bill, either one, because that's the main problem with
America.
right.
People.
I mean, you could say that as well, but I was just going to say with the whole political correctness and people saying that our generation's offended by everything, because in a way we are, but we need to stop giving power to these words. The N-word has become such a powerful word because that I can't even say it right now.
I want to say it right now, but I'm not going to.
Right.
Because of certain political correct reasons.
Yeah. It shouldn't be a thing to where you are so afraid of society that you can't say certain words.
Yeah.
And they're just words. They were made just like everyone else. I know they were derived from a place of hate, but that place of hate needs to be diminished.
So, gentlemen and ladies, until next time, we wish you love, peace, and soul.
Caroselli 2036.